week, in the following weeks, it will be later than 7:30, so it shouldn't be a problem. Only this week. And another announcement, next week in Poland, we will have Easter break. So 14th of April will be off. So we'll skip next Thursday and we will come back in the following Thursday. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so out of 18, please take the attendance, okay? Sign in, so we can start. So what is in our plate today? And like I announced earlier, we're going to start loops, for loops actually. And so please, we will be working on this file. And so like, if you have Visual Studio Code, please download it. First, you need to open it, of course, and download it somewhere, probably on your desktop. And yeah, and then like this, we come to File and Download in IPYNB. And I have it actually on my desktop. And you need to go here. And you can right click on it and open with Visual Studio Code. But if you don't have Visual Studio Code, just follow here. I mean, we will have the same thing basically. Okay, so let me go to my Visual Studio Code. All right. This so toolbox really drives me crazy. I don't know how to get rid of this. Okay, never mind. Okay, today we're going to talk about for loops. Talking about for loops, we talk about repetitive process, okay? Especially when you work with a large data set. You have a long list, actually, like this is a data set. We can see data set as we talked before. We can see it like, let's say each row is a list, right? So each row is a list. So the whole data set can be considered as lists of lists, okay? So this is the entire data set is a list. And inside of this data set, we have so many lists. If we see data set like this, you can understand better. Okay, so what are we going to do? By the way, we're using same data. You can download it from here. And so you don't worry about this code. We will do it, practice a lot later. So just don't worry about this. I don't want to touch it right now. And when time comes, we will be talking about this. Let me scroll down. Okay, so previously, we wanted to calculate the average rating of an app, right? So we had, remember, we had 5 rows of apps here. The data set is about apps. And then we had ratings. This part is ratings. And this part is number of ratings, right? So basically, if we wanted to have the average of this part, okay, so what do we do? So we need to hold somehow the final part, and then we need to sum it up and then divide it by number of apps, okay? So let's quickly do it. I'm going to create right now a data set, okay? Let me call it app data set, okay? App data set. It can be anything, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to, it will be a list, okay? So inside of this big list, I will put all of this list, row 1, okay, row 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? And by the way, if you try to follow along with me coding, it will be difficult, I guess, for you, because I'm using a lot of extensions to make my life easy. Using this one. Okay, I have a quick question for you. Do you want to know what extensions I use here? If you give me feedback from reaction, yes, and I can quickly show what they are, and I can guide you to install them as well. Do you want to learn what extensions they are?
Yes, please.
Okay, so quickly, so when we install an extension, we come here. So one of the extensions I like using is tab 9. Okay, just type here tab 9. Okay, so this is the app. Okay, so you just need to click here, and you need to, because I installed already, it's uninstalled here. You just need to click install. This is one of the extension that is really helpful, and you can install that one, and you can install once you finish it. You know, while it is installing, you can install the others as well. You can install this one too. This one actually, I will show you how it works. But in order for this to work, we need to be in Py file. It doesn't work in Notebook. But you can use this one, prettier. So just type prettier. This one makes your codes look much cleaner and much better, more understandable. Prettier, okay. You can install it. And another one I'm using is rainbow brackets. Rainbow brackets. What it does is that it makes my brackets color like rainbow colors. So like this. The one outside is yellow and the one inside is red, and it goes like this. So it's more readable. And another extension, just type rainbow bracket, rainbow brackets. This one, okay. What else I got here? And and if you want to know my theme, you know, this color, if you like it, it is this one, Monokai Pro. Monokai. This one. If you install this one, once you install it, you can go to, when you finish installation, you can go to code, preferences, and come to color theme. And from here, you can choose whatever you like. And I chose Monokai. So this is how my how it looks like. You see the colors, text, you know, variables, different colors, strings, different colors, etc. So I think that's it for now. And maybe when we are on Python file, this is notebook file, it will be more visible, and I can show you some tricks we can do with those extensions. So now I have my list, and inside of the list I have my other list. What I need to do is I need to right now hold each one, and I need to hold ratings, and then I need to sum them. For example, if I want to hold first row one here is index 1, right? App data, okay, set square bracket 0. when I click, this is 0. So if you want to know what I just did, I need to first time I need to choose the kernel. Okay, so right now you will see row 1. I need to run this one first. Okay, I need to instantiate it, and then now it should be working. What is wrong here? App data set. Yeah, because I chose. Yeah, I made a spelling mistake. Okay, so as you see right now, I selected the entire row 1, but this is not what I want. I don't want everything. I want just the last item, this one. So in order to hold this one, I will have another square bracket here. This time I'm going to count. Remember, I have to start from 0. Index start from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I type here 4, so right now I'm able to retrieve a rating of row 1, which is 3.5. Can you please tell me what would be another way of retrieving rating here? Who can tell me? Instead of 4, exactly, Krzysztof. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Remember, we also have minus index. And if I do -1, it would be the same thing. So good. So it means I can hold rating right now. I'm going to sum it up. I need to do the same thing for, I just simply copy and paste to save time. I type here 1 and -1. Why? Who can tell me why I chose 1 here? Who can tell me? By the way, you can speak, because it's difficult for me to read. Anyone, just feel free to tell me, we can interact, yeah. So this way, I hold row 2, right? Row 2. If you want to know, I can print it actually. Let me have a print. So right now, let me say 1. So from here, 0, 1. 1 is row 2. And I want to do the same thing from row 2, index -1. And this time I hold this data, 4.5. So it means if I have the -1 for each row, and I will be able to retrieve data. So basically, I will just repeat. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I will do it again and one more time. So for readability reason, let me just do like this. Okay. And now 0, 1, and 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So now if I, okay, so what will be the result of this? Let me say total rating. I'm going to give it a variable name, and I think it will give an error right now. It will give an error. Let me do it this way. I just wanted to show you total. Yeah. So now if I print total rating, so total rating is 21.5, right? So because I want to know the average rating will be total rating divided by 5, and average right now is 4.3. Okay, so this is how I can calculate the average. But the problem is that that's good one, but it took me, there are only 5 rows and it took me a lot of time. Imagine our data set actually has more than 7,000 rows. Do you think it's possible to do this just, doing this way? It will take a lot of time. So that's when we can, for loop comes handy, okay? So this is when we can use for loop. I mean, this kind of things, for loops is very useful. Okay, I'm talking about for loops. We talk about a process keeps repeating again and again. So what repeated here? Repeating thing is, so this one, first index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can easily do this in a loop. And second one is minus all the time. So it's, again, not a difficult thing. So if I come up with a for loop and I can do this easily, it doesn't matter if there are 5 rows or 5,000 rows, it will be the same line of code. So it will be that easy. So for loops. And now we're going to learn how to do for loops. I think one of the students, I don't remember who, in the assignments, she used for loop instead of doing this way. I think that's a very good way. So imagine right now I have this app ratings, and if I want to print ratings of each app, okay, so I need to hold app ratings, and I want to hold each one. So for the first one, it's 0, right? So if I want to hold all of them normally, I have to do 1. I want to print each of them. 2, 3, 4. Not 5, okay? Because we start from 0. So I can print it this way, but I can actually do this a lot easily with for loop. Let's check it out. Please look here. With for loop, we start with 4, okay? And let me finish it first, and we will go step by step, and we will analyze every step. For element in app ratings, okay, and column. So because I want to print everything, right? So print, okay, print element. Let's see the result first, then see how it happened. See, we have the same result. So how does it happen? What does it mean actually? So here, okay. So this part is the list, okay? So we are searching in this list, okay? So element is a temporary variable, okay? So, but it can be anything. You can, whatever you put here, so you need to put here as well, okay? So let me say A for A in app ratings. So the same thing, even I can put here underscore, any symbol, it will be fine, because this is a temporary variable. You see, variable, and it helps us. What it does is that it iterates, okay? First, it takes the first item, okay? And then you can sometimes, do mathematical operation and stuff, but here we don't do anything, we just print it. So it prints and we have the result. Now it checks this one. Now this variable becomes second one and puts it here and output. So same way it iterates over the whole list and does the operation you want. Yes. So this is how for loops work. And we call this for loop because it begins with for. There's while loop as well. And yeah, do you have any question about this thing? Yeah, this is very, the syntax is like this. You start with for, give a temporary name. Usually they use I. For I in app ratings, print I. So we have colon here at the end. And remember, we have indentation here. Indentation is important. Without indentation, it wouldn't work. Okay, so let's try. So it doesn't work. And if I had just even one space, it will be enough. But the convention in programming is that 4 space, okay, 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, or tab would do the same thing. Okay, so you need to have 4. But later on, when you do other things, you need to remember if it should be in the same level if the operation is being done under this one. So we'll tackle more in the future about this. Okay. Now, okay, so we know how for loop works. And remember this thing I did here. Remember this one in the beginning. What I did is actually similar to this one, but this is, yeah, they put 1 step, average. It's basically the same thing. How can we do this with for loop? How can we do it? And so right now we have this 5 rows here. We have the same thing. I want to do like this. I want to pause like a minute or so. I would like you to try, okay, and see if you can do it, if you can come up with a solution, and then we will go over together. Please take your time, take 1 minute, or if you need more time, let me know. And please try to do it. This is the same logic. Let me show you the loop I have, okay? And so what we do, in fact, I can actually put this one together so you can see both in the same screen. So take a look at this, hard-coded calculation, and this is a for loop for a different thing. And can you do this thing through for loops? If any one of you finishes, please let me know. I would be happy to let you share your screen and share with us the way you do it. I got this one. Okay. But what I want is this value, not everything. In order to have this value, I need to have, I'm going to put square bracket and -1. Remember, yeah, you see, I got everything here. I got only this row. So now things are much easier for me. I'm just going to sum everything, sum up, and then simply take the average of it, okay? And here, actually, what we need is just to hold this one. What is the question here? And yeah. Okay, in the next one, You were here. Please take a look at this one first. Maybe you might want to see how the codes work. Take this one, and later on we're going to sum, and then we will do the average of it. Okay, which question are we doing right now? Okay, so we are in number 3. So let's move on. Okay, this is actually, I did this up. I printed everything, and yeah, I did this one, rating, good. So we are in 4 right now. So let's take a closer look at for loop structure, okay? So this is the script, this is the syntax of for loop. And yeah, so again, for loop means iterating over a list. Imagine we have a list here with 3 items. So when you have a for loop, you iterate over each element in the list. For example, now what I want to do, by the way, this is called iteration variable, and this is iterable variable. This one is iterable variable, this part, and this part is body of the loop. But how do we know it's body of the loop? Because there's indentation here. It's inside of for loop. Okay, so if you look at the output here, what it does here is that the temporary variable is value here. So first time a value becomes 1, and then we print 1. And also here we have the second thing. You can do many things at the same time. Second one is taking the value here and -1. So that's why 1 minus 1, 0. So 1, 0. Now we go back here again, take the second value, which is 3 here. So first time value 3, and then -1, 2. So same goes for 5 as well. Okay, so this is how it works. So yeah, this is basically what I showed you about. Now, in this case, what we're going to do is, because we want to have the average, right? In order for us to be able to do average, we should be able to sum the how to say ratings. We are able to print out ratings. So how can we sum it? Okay. All right, let me move along. So okay. Okay, we have for loop for let me call it value this time. You see, I told you before, it can be anything. Imagine we will come back to our ratings, but for sake of simplicity, let's use this one. So for value in our list name is list. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to have I want to sum everything up. In order to sum everything up, I need to create a variable here. It can be anything. Let me say a sum, because sum, it has to start from 0, because I need to you know how to say sum everything. I need to start from somewhere. So a sum, let's do like this first. Now I want a value. So I want to hold value here. And so this value will be added to a sum. Okay. So sum is 0. First value will be 0 plus 1. It will be 1. And I need to save it again and save it again, sum. So what happens here is that first, it will take a sum here, which is 0. and it will take this value and do addition. Okay, it will be 1, and we will reassign this value to this name. Okay, so because now the result is 1, so this one will become 1. Now when iteration finishes, it will go back and the sum will be updated and it will be right now 1. Okay, so again, now second time value will be 3 and sum is 1. Now value is 3, it will be 4, and then it will again update the variable, the value, it will be 4, and it will come here, this will be 4, and it will continue like this. In order to better visualize, let's finish this one, and I'm going to show you. I will be able to do it. Okay, so right now, let's print a sum. Okay. So as you see, 149. If it is difficult to visualize for you, I'm going to put this in a regular Python file. Let me close every unnecessary things here. Okay.
One question: where do you what program are you using like right now, like to teach?
Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code.
Visual
Studio Code.
Thank you.
I'm going to create a regular Python file right now, and I just went to File, New File. Now I'm going to save it. Okay, save as. Let me save it on desktop so it's easy to find. Just let me call it test. And remember, it's when it is Python, you need to the extension should be Py. So, and I just copy this code from here and I'm pasting it here. So let me run it. And here, remember, maybe I forgot to tell you, we need to install an extension called Python preview. Okay, this extension. When you install this extension, so it is really helpful, especially for beginners. It actually visualize the coding. So I think, as far as I remember, this one. So now let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. So let me come all the way to the beginning. Now, so we have our list here and we have our code here. So first, now what happens first? First, the value, this one is the list. It shows here the list, okay? White is actually what line, we are right now, what line executed, and red arrow shows the next line, okay? So next we will come to this one. So now, right now, we have our list 1, 3, 5, good. Next, now we executed this one. The sum is 0 right now. Sum is 0. Now, next loop will start. So loop, so we assign the first value here 1, okay, value 1, okay. Now, when it comes here, it will do the calculation, okay, this one. So it came here. Now, sum became 1, as you see. And now, next it will print it. So it's printed here. Now we go back right now, Next, again, second element here assigned, value become 3. And next, value sum became 4 because 3 plus 1. And so it goes like this, this is how it works. This is the logic behind for loop. I hope you can picture it in your mind better this way. And there's also an online web page. Python tutor, I guess. It also does the same thing. You basically need to put here your code, edit the code. Let's say, am I able to? Yeah, I just need to, let me put my code here. So visualize it right now. So you just simply need to click next and next, and you can see it. So, all right, let's go back and okay. Let's leave it now so that maybe we might need this one. I hope you understand this point now. And if I have this one, and because I was able to sum it up, right? And I know the sum right now, which is 9. It's very easy for me to take the average right now. And so basically, let me have this one here. I even, because this, I run this code. So sum is 9, right? A sum is 9. So if I divide this by how many? 3 items, right? So the average is 3. And another way to count, because I just 1, 2, 3. If there are like so many items, it's difficult to count. And we have a built-in count function, length function, and you need to type len open round bracket and put a list. Put the list name, and let me show you before doing that. So it will tell number of the list. So if I again divide sum to number of items, the average is also 3 as well. So this was an easy example. We can apply the same logic for this thing. Remember our old style of having average. Now, what I want to do is first, I want to sum them with help of for loop. And after that, I want to take the average of it. Okay. All right. But before doing that, please, let's pause here. We will do it later. But because we want to do this in not only 5 rows of data, we want to do it in a real data set, okay? Real data set. We will start working on real data set. In order to do it, so we need to download the data set, okay? There is this link here. Okay, when you click on this link, and here we need to download this zip download, and it's a zip code. When you click, a zip code comes here, and I mean zip file comes here, and there's this CSV dataset. Okay, what time is it? Okay, we have time. Okay, inside of the zip file, when I open it, we have 2 files inside. So one is Apple Store CSV, and the other is Apple Store description. Description is just giving information. We don't need it, and we need this file. So what we need to do is, if I want to use this file, let me see my desktop. Okay, in my desktop, I have my folder, so the data science, and I need to put this file inside next to my file, okay? Because I'm working on this file. I have solutions here as well. And I need to put here, they need to be in the same folder so that I can easily plug it into my file. You can actually do it in other locations as well, but I want to make things simple first. That's why I put just next to in the same folder here. So let's go back to here. So we download it here. So we're going to open the file, okay? Open the file. Later on, when we actually started data analysis, I will show you even much simpler way to read data, but we need to learn, you know, the main idea first. That's why we are going this way. So in order to open a file, any file, you need to have, you need to do open and slash file name. In our case, file name is Apple Store, right? Apple Store.csv. You need to remember to have codes, okay? Single or double quote, no problem. So when you do it, so let me just, so when I run it, and let's see what happens. You see, there is this strange things here. So what does it mean is actually it run, it is successful. It stored actually the file in our computer, okay? So now I have this one. In order to use it, I'm going to assign this. Now I can delete this one right now. This is how I have. So I'm going to give this a variable name. So every time I need to use it, I don't have to use this one. I can just use this one. So I'm going to give this open file, and yeah. Now, so as you see, we open it, but it doesn't help us much, okay? And now I want to be able to read it. I want to be able to read it, okay? So in order to read it, I'm going to import a library called from CSV import reader library. So with this reader library, what I'm going to do is I'm going to instantiate, it is called instantiated, like I'm going to use this one, okay? So I will start with reader. So this is called instantiate, okay? When you have a library, when you use it, when you call it, you instantiate it. So I want to read this file, file name. I will simply just copy and paste it here, okay? And I will still give this a variable name, okay? And I will put this name here, okay? Now, now when I print read file, and now my file is ready, it's plugged and it is ready, available, and I can use it anytime I want, okay? So what we did is first we open the file, we plug it into our Python, and then with help of reader, we read it. We read it and give it a name. And so in order to see the proof, I print it, and yes, it is here. It is in our system. Although we don't see anything, it is there and it's available for me to use anytime. The best thing about Python compared to Excel, Google Sheet, or any kind of spreadsheet, in order to use them, you have to have them on your Excel, long tables, maybe 5,000 rows. But here, you don't have to see it. You know, this is enough for you. It holds the all data there. So in a moment, we're going to use it, we're going to call it, and we're going to use it, okay? So Where are we? Okay, we're going to open it right now. Yeah. Okay. Now scrolling down, yeah, these are the steps actually I already showed you, and I gave a lot of information here. Now, this read file, okay, we are going to convert it because right now from here, this is a read file. So because we want to convert it into a list. Okay, so when we convert it, so you can see it, right? It's a very long list. In fact, it is a list, and inside of the list, maybe I should print it. Let me give it a name. What name did I give here? Okay, I'm going to call this app data. Okay, apps data, actually, there are many apps. Okay, now if I print it, it will be much better this way. Apps data. So when I run it, nothing. Yeah. So for example, you know, it's a very long list. It's too much. I want to read because it's a list, a big list. Remember, data set. Inside of the list, we have, for example, from one list here, start from here, all the way here. Actually, this is one row. From here to here, one row. And then second row starts from here. If I want to see only 2 rows, okay, and I want to do like this, from 0 to second row, okay? So when I do this, you can see this is the first row, and this is the second row. So it means I have, in fact, the first row is here, is the column headers, right? And if I make this, for example, 3, the first row until here is the headers, and the first item actually starts from here, which is Pac-Man, Premium, and the USD, the price and everything. We are familiar with this data, okay? So right now we're able to read data, okay? So next step we need to do is we are going to, yes, print data, okay. Now, okay. So from here, let's move on. Okay, we did this part already up. Second part, yes, these are basically the same thing. So here we're talking about errors. Like sometimes, you know, if you use a wrong index, for example, let's say you have 5 items. If you have index 6, and you can get an error. Okay, this is what it is talking about. Okay, now let's go to, I want to move to part 7. Okay, part 7. Okay, this error happens. So this is about like if you use a wrong index, you can get an error. Okay, now go to part 2. Okay, part 2. So here we are. Remember, we read the data. Okay, we have apps data up because we read it once. We can always use it, right? So remember the first row. Maybe I should comment this out. I'm going to select first, 0, and give it a name header. I want to show you what header is. print. You see the header, the first line, zeroth, the first list is the headers, right? There is no value, there is no rating, there is no number, there is no digit. So I want to separate this. I want to keep this as header, and I want my actual database start from row one. I mean, index one, which is row two, right? Because if I start from beginning, inside data, let me show you the table so it makes better sense. Okay, now the first one is this. Okay, I want to separate this as header. I give a name for header, and when I hold my data, I want to start from here. So that's why I'm going to start from index one all the way down bottom of the data set. That's why here 0 shows, where was the, okay. Okay, here. So that's why I saved this as header. Now my apps data will start from 1 and all the way to the end. Okay, how many rows, whatever, it doesn't matter. It will hold this data. Okay, so this is what it is about. Now let me delete this one. Guys, does it make sense? Can I have a feedback? Did you understand this part?
I pretty much understand it. So a bit, yes.
Yes. First row is header and the rest is data. Okay, this is what it is about. Now, what we're going to do is, and we want to hold. Let me, by the way, print a couple of rows to see it. Okay, apps data. I want to see from row 1 to row 5 how it looks like. Okay, print. Let me put inside of print. So as you see, row 0 is header. I don't use it. I'm sliding right now from 1 to 5. The first row is from here to here. That's good. So if I want to understand what it is about, this is, I think, number. I mean the list number. This is. I can also print here. One more time. Print. Okay. Okay, so we know right now what it is. This is ID, this is ID, this is track name, this is size in byte, this one is currency, this one is price, this one is rating count total, and this is rating count version. I think we need this data. We are going to have this data, and we want to sum this up, and we want to take the average of this one. Okay, this is what we're looking for. So if I look at the index of this one, let me count from here: 0th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. 7th item, is it? 0, 1, 2. Oh, sorry, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is 25, 26. But what are we going to search here? We will iterate data. Okay, so this one. Which data we want to collect here? It says here row 7. Row 7, it doesn't matter. So we are going to have 7th row. Okay, no problem. Now, we're going to do for loop right now. We know how our data looks like. Okay, and we know our headers. So what we want to do is we want to catch row 7, and we want to sum it, and then we want to have the average. Let's get started. Remember, in order to sum, I need to have in the beginning, I need to define rating sum, for example, rating sum, and it should be 0 first, right? So now I start my for loop. Let me call it row, because there are so many rows. It will go to each row from here. For row in apps data. Okay. So first of all, from row, I need to again row here. And we said that we will have 7th row. We will have the 8th element, but index 7, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this one. And we will have this. According to my data set, I think it looks like we need to hold this, the 8th one, but I don't know why it says 7. Never mind. So we will hold this one. We need to give it a name first. Let's call it rating. Let's call it rating. So for each row, we will hold this one and we give it a rating. And every time we iterate, we will have this rating sum, okay, plus rating, okay. So we'll sum it up. Every time we iterate, we sum it up. And again, we have to give the same name again so that it updates, okay? So that it updates. So it will sum and we give the same name, and then it will go back here, update this one, and take new value and add, and this is how we sum. Okay, let's print sum, and do you think it will work right now? Do you see any problem here? Please tell me if you see any problem. Let me know before I hit print. Do you think everything is all right? Everything is perfect. Am I making any mistake?
Are you missing the plus rating or rows?
Rating is here. Rating is fine. Rating sum is fine. It looks like okay, but there might be some problems as well. I'm going to run it. Yes, I have a problem. Who can tell me what the problem is? In fact, it tells here.
You haven't put it in int.
Exactly. Why? Why do we have to put into? Let's take a look at the data. Because for some reason, although these are digits, but there are like, how to say, quote here, single quote mark, right? So it makes it a string. So I need to convert it into integer. Okay, so in order to, we're talking about this part. In order to convert it into integer, I need to just put int around it. So now we hold data and convert it to integer, and then assign name, and then add it to sum, and then hopefully it should be fine now. Yes, it is. So we have right now total number. When you have total number, and now if we want to have the average, how can we take the average? So we have the total number, and how can we take the average of it? Any ideas? There are many ways to do it.
What about making an incremental value? So you add this, so it tracks basically the
Exactly. Very, very good one. So maybe I can give it a name count, right? It should start from what? 0 or 1?
It depends when you want to add one.
Okay. So can you guide me through?
So we could put it as 0, and at the end of the for loop, you could just add 1.
Okay, count, right? Like this, right? So this way, now let's print count. So, okay, so we have this many number of items, rows, and this is the sum. If we divide this by this one, I think that will be the result. That will be the result. Okay, let's try average. Rating sum divided by count. Average. So this is the average. Did we make any mistake here? It's a bit
forgot. Can you repeat it?
I'm going to try 8, okay? Wait a minute, what happened? The literal for integer and 10 makes.
Because it's a float.
Oh, yeah. So it should be, you're right. Thank you. I think this is the correct one. The information here is wrong. Maybe data set they were using now and data set available because it's live one. Maybe it's a bit different. So I think this is the correct one. So the average is 3.5. Okay. So basically what we did is that we read let's start from here. First, we we downloaded our data and put in the same folder and open it. And then with the library, the CSV reader library, we read it. And then we converted into a list and we gave it a name. And after that, coming down here. Okay, and from here, we split the data, the first row as a header, and the rest of the data set is saved as apps data, okay? And then, so we iterated over apps data, each row, okay? And then we took ratings in the 9th element of the list, and we sum it up, and also we counted, and we divided rating sum by count, and we were able to find it. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm recording. Yeah. Okay, so this is how we did. I think the rest is basically about this. And another method is that you can append. You can use append. I'm not sure if last week we talked about this. imagine you have a list here, okay, and so you can, with using append function command, you can add a new item, okay? So now your list become 1, 2, 3, and so same way we can actually here every time we can append the list, okay? For example, we take this is the row, for example, and take the last one, and we create a new list, and then we can sum it up, okay? And if I break it down, for look here, please, and here, from here, it takes the last element and create a new list with append, and after that you can sum it. So you can sum list, and you can use len as well. So this is how basically how we use loop, for loop in data science. Later on, we're going to learn Pandas, okay, the Pandas library. In Pandas library, there is even easier way to do all these tricks, but it is still important to learn for loop. Yeah, I mean, basically that's about for loop. And at the end of the file, I have the summary of, we have the syntax, appending values, and reading, data set, and the for loop, and yeah, I think that's basically it. I think that's it. Thank you very much, everyone. And sorry, 1 minute longer. There is an assignment here. There will be an assignment here, and here actually, I will put it there. This one, I will put it in the assignments. Please do it. It's about what we learned today. Have a good evening, everyone. I will see you the week after next, and happy Easter.
Thank you to
Thank you,
you.
Mr. Bye. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Happy Easter.
Thank you, Pablo. Thank you. You too.